periods on home ice this year. Don't have a goal since the home opener. And the siren will sound to bring this one to an end. Columbus with a 5-1 victory here at TD Garden tonight.
All right, welcome in 98.5 The Sports Hub. You have 60 minutes to react to the Bruins. You're coming home from the game tonight. I want to know how you feel. I'm sure some of you already made it home because you left early. That was a terrible performance, an awful one. I think that we should get paid combat pay for staying here and working this thing. That's how I feel. You all went there tonight, spent the money, bought all the jumbo home-cooked meatballs and all that. And that's the way that they play right now at home. Like you think they'll bounce back tonight, they don't. That was an awful effort. And unfortunately, something has to change. I blame the players. I'll just tell you that right now. I blame the players. But at the same time, this group of players has so many just faults, warts all over the roster, and that falls, unfortunately, on management. But management's not going to get fired in this one. Let's call it what it is. Jim Montgomery's a shield for Sweeney and for Neely. And the first one to go down is Jim Montgomery. They're going to wait this thing out because they're next. They're next. So Montgomery's probably going to go down. And I thought he said some interesting things in postgame. We'll let you hear those coming up in just a little bit. But the players, you can only do so much once the players don't either listen to the coach or aren't giving. When I say effort, I know everyone's trying out there. I know that they put on their skates every night and want to be better and want to get back on track and want to score more and be better on the power play and on the penalty kill. And Swayman wants to be better, and nobody wants to blame the offseason or the contract stuff. At some point, you're just a bad hockey team. Sometimes you're just a bad hockey team. The chemistry just doesn't work. So because the rest of the NHL is so terrible, this is probably why they're not making a move yet. Like if you look around the league, the standings, it's awful. This is why something hasn't happened yet. They're 8-9. They're one game behind Tampa Bay. Toronto and Florida are ahead. The rest of it, they have 9 wins. There's only a few other teams that have more than them. They're still in the thing. It's the only thing saving them at this point. It's the only thing saving them. I have nothing else. I've pulled all the levers. Merkelov comes up. Look at him. I actually like it. Hey, I don't know. Maybe play some of your younger kids. Isn't that what Montgomery's good at? I've run out of things to say about the Bruins. The roster doesn't work. They're too heavy. They give up penalties constantly because they get beat. They're slow. They don't have speed. And I don't even know if they can play 3 periods anymore. Because, yes, they have 2 overtime wins at home. But their third periods, why even stay for the third period? Why even bother? They don't show up, and you heard it coming back from break. The Bruins, do not have a goal in the third period since opening night at home. How is that possible? Not even an empty netter in the third. The only wins that they have at home after the third period that they've scored is in overtime. Sometimes you're just not a good team. Right now, the league's a little bit down. So that's why Montgomery probably still has a job at this point, but I have nothing else. And hey, one more time, Merkulov played tonight. How'd it look? Oh, and then you had to bring in Vial. I'm going to call him Veal. They brought in the beef tonight. They got a fight out of him. Couple of penalties, right? They are pulling everything they can because they're not a good team. That's all I got. Skaz, you had to work that thing. I say anything, nothing. I leave anything out there. I don't know. We've said everything. We've tried Tyler Johnson. I keep talking about Lysell. No, I've pulled every lever I can. They're just not a good team. I'm going to leave it at that. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. It's you're kind of dumbfounded watching this team. The pieces seem to be there for them to, at least not be this bad. I don't know if they're a Stanley Cup roster, but they're certainly not, what we've seen. They're not one goal in the third period at home, on, the 18th of November. They're not that bad. But the thing that really stood out for me tonight is Jim Montgomery's called David Pastrnak out publicly in the past. He did it in the playoffs. He did it earlier this season. David Pastrnak had 0 shots on net tonight. Cover 0, as Matt Stafford liked to tell us this weekend. So that's a major red flag for me. If you have a guy like David Pastrnak, supposed to be a leader on this team, supposed to be a guy who, I don't want to say he rallies the troops or anything like that, because I don't think that should be his job. But his job is to get pucks on net, to score goals. That is why he's here. That is why he's paid the way he's paid. And for him to have 0 shots on net against a team like the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are a bad team, who was having an awful month, has been one of the worst teams in hockey in the month of November, and your star and David Pastrnak can't get a shot on net. Something is rotten in that building. I don't know if it's the front office. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if it's the locker room, whatever it is, but something over there, Joe, something stinks. Something stinks over there, as you would like to say.
Well, let's stick to that for a second here. And you can line up the phones. Listen, we'll take you all night. 617-779-0985. Just sticking on that Pastrnak thing for a second here. Okay, he 0 shots is unacceptable. Do I expect more out of Pastrnak? Maybe, because of the money. Maybe. But I still think Pasternak's who he is. And in a way, if this is his type of play, when there's no jolt on the team. Is there a spark? Is there a spark anywhere? And I don't want to go at the best player when things like this happen. Although I think it is the players. McAvoy, Pastrnak. McAvoy is somebody that I'm just completely down on bad. But the Pastrnak thing, if it's him sending this message, Skaz, these star players, you have to cater to them, right? I hope you know this take isn't an anti-David Pastrnak take, what I'm saying here. If he's checked out, who else is checked out? Is it the message from the coach? What is it? The best player on the Bruins is checked out. I'm not killing him. At some point, David Pastrnak, if he was here or somewhere else, is going to put up 40 goals a year. And he's not going to play a lot of defense. And he's going to stink in shootouts. And that's who he is. Sometimes you just got to pay for those type of guys. But when they are no-shows and it's flat and they're not playing well, I technically don't blame the player in this situation. Something isn't right in there. So yes, sniff it out. It's not him. If a great player's not getting going and then the coach gets on him for it, fine. It's more than that at this point. It is so much more than that. So what? Fire the coach. Then what? Well, tonight, while the game was happening, I wrote a list. So I will give you that list coming up in just a little bit. But let's have at it. Joey, our intern, just so you know, Joey, when it's the Celtics games, we have Cerrone on because we give analysis and breakdown of it. When it's the Bruins and they lose, we just go to the phones. Because you know why? They're the ones that really know all about hockey. And they're the ones who know how everyone else feels. So this is what we do. We go straight to the phones. Let's light them up. 617-779-0985. Longest order of wait. We got Mike in Maine. Mike.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Long time no talk. I'm actually coming from that absolute nightmare.
Bro, where you been?
It's been a long couple months. Sounds like you guys are going to be up my way soon, and we'll be all catching up. But
we'll talk,
holy crap. My buddy Brian, by the way, we went to the game tonight. He loves you. Never calls in. I don't know why, but, I told him he should. You're good. You're a good call for sure. But holy crap, man. Like, I'm not always a guy who's sitting here saying, let's, can a coach. At the end of the day, the players, need to play, and you got to hold them accountable. But, like, Jesus, man. Like, half the team didn't look like they even wanted to catch a pass. 5 or 6 times, I'm like, yeah, he's afraid he's going to just get hit. There's just no heart, no balls. There's nothing. There's everything missing right now. They were running into each other. One guy coming through the middle on a power play, and McAvoy just takes out his own player. Just one after the other. Holy crap.
What was the vibe like?
It was getting pretty restless pretty early. I would say it was probably like a third of the, house was empty given a Monday night. But, and my biggest concern with this team is, if these lunky, acquisitions in the offseason and all these extensions, is this team going to be porched for a while? Because, they got a lot. They got a lot of contracts going for a long time, and no one's really talking about it.
You just nailed it. They thought
5-6 years of this.
They thought that this was they took a step back last year, and now we'll take a big step forward this year. And boy, look at it now. And now they might need a new coach, and who knows if the GM's going to be around?
Oh, yeah. And hey, I will say if Zadorov will stop taking some of these boneheaded penalties, when you go to a game in person, he stands out, though. I will say, he might be a little slow, but when he breaks out and carries the puck, I don't know if it's his length, he just seems to, shelter that puck well. If he can stay away from penalties, I actually think he might be a good addition. But, other than that, it's tough.
Appreciate you, bro. I'll catch up with you soon.
Have a good night, buddy.
All right, man. Later on. Zadorov's a presence, huh? See, when I say it, this is who everyone is. Zadorov is big and takes penalties. This is who he is. The Elias Lindholm thing, though, did you think that he was a no-show? Elias Lindholm, let's call it what it is. He's a bust of a signing right now. Wow, 20 games in, and I just dropped a bust. 20 games in. So far, he's been a bust of a signing. No doubt about it. Did he take a business decision too? A lot of business decisions going on that team right now. Right? Because that's what it's about, right? A business? Jeremy Swayman? It's a business. McAvoy's got his money. Pasternak's got his money. Lindholm, Zadorov, the other Lindholm. They all got their money. Swayman, even the backup Corpusalo's still getting $4 million. Everyone's got their money. And it seems like they're all making business decisions right now. And at some point, the Bruins are going to have to make a business decision. 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Justin in Easton. Hey, Justin.
Hey, how you doing? Long time listener, first time caller. I just want to say, I think Olivier with the 2 shots on the net, ridiculous. Sway needs to block those. And I just want to say one thing. OA Tigers going to the state tip.
Who? OA? If he's in Easton, does he want an Oliver Ames shout out?
I'm shocked people in Easton even care about that, but yeah, good for you, bud.
I one time covered an Oliver Ames game. I did play-by-play scast for King Philip football versus Oliver Ames. And let me just tell you, it was a beautiful stadium Oliver Ames has. Unfortunately, the King Philip football team was just a little bit better than theirs. Good luck on your championship.
I'll be rooting against them strictly because of that call.
617-779-0985. Tommy's in Lynn. Tommy!
It's Ray in Cumberland.
Oh, my God, Ray in Cumberland. What's going on, dude?
I said it's Tommy from Lynn's Drive. What's up, my man? How you been?
Okay, so you're the guy that with Tommy, but okay, so on the call screener, they just associated you with Tommy.
Yeah, no problem.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I was calling about the top six tonight. You kind of already touched on what I was going to say with Lindholm. I don't notice Lindholm playing during the game. Like, I kind of feel like he is a little bit of a bust. And Marchand's starting to show his age a little. I love him, but the top six is terrible. What would you do to fix it?
Well, I don't know. What do you do? I mean, dude, I at this point I don't know what to do. They've moved all the lines around.
Blow it up. It's hard to say. I have no idea what they do. For real, dude.
I don't get paid enough to make those decisions because I've tried. I've tried everything. Skaz knows. My back hurts from reaching with takes about the Bruins right now and how to fix this thing. All right?
Last thing is, like your previous caller said, they have contracts all for the next few. Like they're in a horror show lined up the next couple of years.
It's a wicked horror show. Did you hear that? That's a Rhode Island accent right there, Skaz. Because it's like they don't know yet. Boston, Rhode Island, like a little bit of New York in there. Ha! It's a ha show. Oh, did you hear that one? Yeah, dude. You tell me. I've been for 20 games, besides the weekend games, because I don't work those. I don't think Skaz does either. Every weekday game that they have played, we have been here. All right?
Come on, Joe. You should fix him. What do? You got to fix him.
I've tried. Hey, you know what? The Merkulov move, when I saw it tonight, I went, hey, that guy, he's fast.
What do you do?
At least he's fast. He tried. Like I can say, if I lined everybody up on the ice tonight and said who tried, like Merkulov tried. He's not good enough. Like he's a nice little speedy guy. Maybe that's what they need to do. All right, you want it? Speed. Speed, guys. Speed. You're going to get crushed if you ever made the playoffs again, but still, you need speed. And I feel like Mickey from Rocky. We need speed. You know, and he's chasing a little, what is it, a rooster? They need speed. Like, they're slow as hell.
I'm not sure they know how to fix it at this point, Joe. I don't think they have any idea.
That's what I'm telling you. They're going to look at the standings. This is like this is Red Soxian. They're going to be like, hey, you know what? Only a couple of games. It's not that bad. Not as bad as it looks. Couple of wins here, you know. Because in reality, that is what it is. The Bruins at 8-9 might be what they are. I'm not sure if the rest of the league is what we're seeing right now. All right, we're up against it. So I'm sorry. I went late, but I was yelling. Everyone's getting paid, huh? I might have to pull that up. The entire roster's gotten paid. There's so many business decisions going on right now. But the Bruins, when are they going to make theirs? All right, we'll take a quick break. I'm Joe. I'll take all your calls. I see everybody. I see Aiden, Danny, Chris, Stevie. Aiden again? Joe? We'll get all to you guys next here on the Sports Hub.
More but how much do you think missing training camp has hurt Jeremy?
I don't think missing training camp helps anyone. That's why you have training camps, you know? The only guy I seen, Tim Raines with the Expos, that's an Expos fan growing up. He missed the first month because, I don't know, if you didn't sign by a certain date, and I think he went 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs his first game back against the Mets. So, I mean, that's a different sport. I think it's, it's tough to get the rhythm and the expectation. But by no means do I think today is Jeremy Swayman not having training camp. We're long into that now,
Ooh, I don't know. Was that a shot? Was that a shot? We're well beyond missing training camp when he starts off by saying, I don't think missing training camp is good for anybody. And then he gives you a Tim Raines story. Rock Raines could just show up and hit baseballs. And, of course, it's crossing sports, and we can't do that. At least in this situation. The Swayman thing's for real, right? Like, in reality, take what's going on with the team, the coach, anything. The guy who held out for more money is stinking up the joint. Is it all his fault? No. But shorthanded goals. I mean, listen, the penalty kill actually was good tonight. But for the most part, the penalty kill has been dog poop. It's terrible. And they went 1 for 6 today on the power play. They gave up 2 shorties, and I don't know. Can your $9 million goaltender stop a shorty? How about 2 of them? Can he go 1 for 2? Can you stop 1? So I don't want to be critical of Swayman. There's a lot going on. I'm sure the trickle down's leaning on him. But this is what happens when you want to be the big cheese, right? You want to get paid, and it's a business. It's a business. Yep. Well, this is the business. You now make $9 million a year. The team has an albatross against the salary cap because you take $9 million of it, or almost $9 million of it. You also have a $9 million defenseman. It's just when you look at the Bruins roster and their finances, it is hefty. And I think there's some business decisions going on right now. It's not pretty. David Pastrnak, 11.2. Elias Lindholm, no-show. Bust, 7.75. Brad Marchand, your captain, in the final year of his deal, no extension, 6.125. Charlie Coyle scored a goal tonight. I used to think that $5 million was too much. Now, probably is what it is. 5.25. Zaka, 4.75. A lot of guys making a lot of money at the top of that list there. Oh, and then your defense, right? McAvoy, 9.5. Hampus Lindholm's out, but he's still 6.5. Zadorov makes $5 million, and he's exactly what you thought he was. Carlo, 4.1. Peaks at 2.75. A lot of money and a lot of business decisions going on there now. A lot of money. Guys were paid handsomely. They're not delivering. I got some coaching candidates because I think it's going to happen soon. But let's hear from you guys. We got Chris in Kingsborough. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, I was at the game tonight with my son, and the biggest thing is obviously defense. Honestly, Swayman does got to make saves. You know, obviously letting 2 goals in with 7 shots, that's a problem. Obviously, he's got to make a save, making $8.25 million a year. But the defense got to help him out there. You know, and they leave him out to dry. I go to half the games a year when they're home, but they can't shoot. All the shots they took tonight, they're missing the net. Everything's missing the net. Honestly, it's embarrassing. You know, they got to do more. You know, I don't know. I don't think it's the coach. They definitely need to make a trade because the team's just not right.
Hey, you see
they don't have the right guys on the team. They got to make a trade.
Did you see the scouts out there tonight? There were scouts at the games, guys. Remember? 18 different teams scouting. Oh yeah, who'd they like tonight? Was it Merkulov?
Best player on the ice was Merzlikins there, the Columbus goalie.
How do you say his name again?
Elvis Merzlikins.
I'm just gonna call him Elvis. Merzlikins, I thought it was.
I'd like to get you on play-by-play for one of these NHL games.
Nope. I was telling intern Joe earlier about this. The hockey ones, you gotta go listen to them.
You need Howie for those.
You either need Howie or you go to YouTube and you type in the person's name and listen to them say their name. And then you practice it by yourself. I used to do that in mornings when I did mornings with Fred and friends. Yep. Sit in the car and I would wait. Let's see. Who else wants to talk about this? Aiden in Wakefield. Hey, Aiden.
Joe, how you doing, friend?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Well, right now I'm sitting on I-95, and yesterday morning I decided that I'm going to go to practice. You know what? I'm tired of watching the Patriots' offensive dumpster fire, and you know what? I wanted to see practice. I wanted to see how this team's doing behind the scenes, and it's the exact same thing as the Patriots' offense. It's absolutely broken. There is no chemistry. Last year, I remember sitting watching the practice, and I saw Jim out at center ice. Every time there was a mistake made, there was always be screaming and slamming sticks. That is the absolute not the case this year. There is no chemistry. It's like the guys don't even want to be there. Yesterday's practice started at 10:45. Zaka was off the ice at 11:10. Pasta.
Ooh, all right. I don't want to do that yet. Thank you, Aiden. Let's keep that one in our back pocket.
Boots on the ground.
Let's just
get an eyewitness.
I don't want to speculate.
The Bruins will not be practicing tomorrow. I saw Ty Anderson tweet out already.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's just use the call. I've said business decisions how many times tonight? Does it look... if we're basing it off his call, and again, speculating. No practice tomorrow. Why? Why? Why not?
And just, while we're on the practicing, apparently Charlie Coyle postgame said that some of the Bruins' bad play in games correlates to them basically sucking in practice as well. He said, we can be better. When you're not winning games, you can be better. And I think that starts in practice. So no, to answer a question, we can be better there. So apparently the caller's right. They suck at practice. They suck in the games. They're not good right now.
I don't want to cross sports, but wasn't Drake May, applauded for bringing the team together and saying, hey, we suck at, hey, we need to be better at this. Brad Marchand's the captain of the team. Like this, when it's times, guys, I'm wondering if he's in on it too. Does he have a business decision? He's in the last year of his deal, and hasn't had an extension yet. And quite frankly, is Brad Marchand worth it? Is his play worth an extension? No. For what he's done for the organization, though, I can feel that. So they're not practicing tomorrow. Pucks and Paddles is on Wednesday. Just to, be selfish about it. And then they play a game on Thursday night. So they're just going to have a day off, practice, and then put a fake smile on their face at the event? Listen, maybe they need some ping pong. Maybe that's what they need. Sometimes we all need some ping pong. Did you get your 4 field goals yet? This kid's been bet his 4 field goals today. What's he got, 3 now?
And now he's happy. I think
he got his 4?
Brandon Aubrey has finally hit his second of the night.
Our intern Joe is freaking out. Oh, there's a flag.
He's not happy. Not happy.
Oh, yes. I'm laughing because it's happened to me. Well, let's see what the result is of this one here. Because, whenever our intern is in on something, now I need to know about it. We'll take another call here. How about Danny in Montreal? What's going on?
Hey, guys. How you doing, man?
Good.
I got it. I'm a Bruins fan here in Montreal. I know what this team needs. We know our hockey up here in Canada.
I know.
They need to trade Brandon Carlo, who's on a reasonable contract at $4 million. There's a lot of teams out there that want a top 4 defenseman that are willing to give a top 6 forward. That's what it has to be. We need to go get a $5 to $6 million player to replace Jake DeBrusk.
Oh, yeah. Just so you know, they should have done that in the offseason.
That's just what Zadorov was not needed.
Yes, you're right.
What they needed to go is sign Tyler Toffoli at $6 million. That was the guy.
Instead, they went with Riley Tufte as a cheap version of that.
It's so, and then when they talk about the coach, I say, look, the coach, I understand the Brad Marchand at this point of his career, he's a third line player, right? So you can't rely on the guy at 36 years old to play a top 6 forward and to produce.
So do you think he could net back that? Like, I don't envision the Bruins trading Brad Marchand, but if they're not,
no, definitely not.
But if there's no extension. And he's just playing without a contract. Like, could a team be interested and give up that type of talent?
No, I think Brad Marchand's going to sign for $1 million next year. He's going to retire a Bruin. What this team needs right now is at least 1 to 2 top 6 forwards. And then if you want to fire the coach, at least you can look at him and say, we gave you a little bit. We did give you a chance with. This is the first time the Bruins have struggled. I've gone through a tough stretch in like 5 years, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right, so we're I mean, everybody wants to fire the coach. I get it. But
can I give you one more? I don't disagree with you. If there was another coach, since you know, I love your act. You're from Canada. I got to take your word.
I get it.
Who do you think should be the next coach of the Bruins?
I think it's probably, if they decide to fire him, it's probably going to be Jay Leach or maybe Gallant from what's his name? Gallant used to coach the Rangers. Used to coach Vegas.
Paul Gallant, yeah.
That would be because right now we went from Cassidy, who was more of a disciplinarian hard ass. Then they went to Jim Montgomery, who was obviously a player coach. So they got to go back to the hard ass, and Gallant is the hard ass.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gerard Gallant.
Gerard Gallant, yes, that's it. He's the hard ass. The hard ass guy that's going to come there and say, but that's what this team needs. It's always like that, right? In sports, when you go from a hard ass and you got to go to a player coach, and then they go back. Like, so they teeter between both ways. So it's a type of a guy like that I think will come in. And then when they start trading guys, as you were mentioning in terms of guys on business decisions, there's a lot of guys with long-term contracts here. Mm-hmm. So when they start trading guys, it's like at work when they start firing people, right? All of a sudden everybody starts turning around and saying, maybe I'm next. Maybe I better get my stuff together here because I don't want to be traded.
There you go. Danny, thank you. I really enjoyed your French accent. Is that the word? French accent? I liked he was from Montreal. And I liked the way he spoke about hockey. So I guess we'll table the Marchand stuff then. And look at potentially moving on from a defenseman for a top 6 forward to replace. They never replaced Jake DeBrusk. Let's just be honest about that. They never replaced him. But Brandon Carlo is the name, huh? So if you trade Carlo at $4.1 million. Couple of years remaining. Tommy!
What's up, Joe? Joe, this team is pathetic the way they're playing. Joe, they're going down the Red Sox way now, the Bruins. So you can call them the Red Sox of the Bruins right now in the NHL. This is pathetic, Joe. That Swayman contract, did that backfire them? Sweeney and Neely should be held accountable because there's other goalies that are getting paid more than him. What has he done? What has he done with this team this year? Swayman, missing out at camp. Swayman didn't show up. This is Swayman's fault. Swayman's fault. I'm a Swayman guy, but oh boy, isn't he starting to drive me bananas with this? Because this is him. We're in salary cap jail, and it's pathetic. Sweeney and Neely need to go. They need to go.
Where'd you watch the game tonight, Tommy?
I watched it at Patty Kelly's, and boy, was I pissed.
Call of the night. Tommy from Lynn. He's the best.
Patty Kelly, shout out.
I watched it at Patty Kelly's, and boy, was I pissed.
Oh, and how the people at Patty Kelly's feel when the Bruins aren't winning or they're not doing well. Like, what are the guys doing in there?
Boarding up the windows.
They're like the girls must be like, oh no, the Bruins are down 5-1. He's going to be so pissed tonight. He's going to wake up so aggravated tomorrow. He's not going to want to help me. I really need this mirror moved, but he's so pissed he's not going to do it, and I don't want to ask him because they lost 5-1 and they might fire Jim Montgomery tomorrow. Like, that's how they must feel. The Bruins fans right now. Jeez. All right, well, I got odds, or at least I got candidates. Next Bruins coach, we'll do it next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins lose 5-1 tonight. Not good. Not good. 5-1. Only goal tonight, Charlie Coyle. Jeremy Swayman, 24 saves tonight, but set.
review the film. We just keep building. We just keep demanding that we get to the level that we need to get to.
Jim, have you been through anything like this before that you can call on?
Yeah. I think I said it a couple of days ago. I started season 1-7-1 in Dallas one year. I went 17-4-4 after that. There's been a couple of wins where I thought maybe we were turning the page. That hasn't transpired. What you want in the first 20 games, you don't want to be out of the playoff race. We're not out of the playoff race.
What changed that year in Dallas? What was there something?
You know what? It was a similar game to this. We were down 3-0 halfway through the second, and we got a goal. We ended up winning the game 5-3, and then we just started going. We started playing on our toes instead of playing on our heels.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Between Jeremy Swayman's comments tonight about, I'm trying to change and I'm going to do better and I will do better and da-da-da-da. And then Montgomery tonight, kind of, to me, I thought he talked about Dallas a couple of times, but talked about his history. Is that him, like, stat humping? Was he stat humping his record for, like, another team? I think Jim Montgomery is a pretty decent coach. I do. Do I think that a couple of years ago he listened to the veterans on that team because of the success they had? Absolutely. Did he make a terrible decision? Yep. When Bergeron came back, they were a worse team. That's a fact. It happened. They lost. I'm not going to keep going back to that. Last year, they lost in a Game 6 of the defending Stanley Cup champions. So you thought at least this year, I thought last year would be the step back. But getting Lindholm and Zadorov, I was like, wow. Hey, take the Brusque. Who cares about it? Nope. They've regressed. They're too big. They wanted to get heavier because of the way. How many years did we talk about Matt Grizzlick getting hit in the corners and guys like that? So I know why they made the moves that they did. Lindholm's been a bust. But anyways, I digress. I have coaching lists. This is my list. And, Jared Gallant was one of the guys that was mentioned. I don't know if this team needs a hard ass. You know why? When business decisions, I'm going to keep saying it again. I think they need a guy that can help still develop young talent, because eventually they're going to have to trade some of these pieces off for young talent. So I thought that's what Montgomery was, but he can't coach this team. They're not fast enough. Like, he can't. So who can? And this is my list. My lead candidate's Jay Leach. Jay Leach left here, came back. They like him. He used to be the Providence coach. Maybe the guys would something. I don't know what changes. But I'm leaving Joe Sacco off the list because I feel like their power play is so bad that why should he deserve a promotion? And I almost feel like he'd be gone if Montgomery was gone. So I don't have him on my list. The other interesting name is Chris Kelly. Like, I don't know if he knows what he's doing behind the bench, but the guys certainly do on the ice. Look how much playing time they have. That might be a good move. Now I'm reaching a little bit with some names, so I don't want to hurt myself reaching here. But you got Marc Savard, who's with Toronto. And I don't know how Toronto would ever let him go to ball. I don't know. All right, I'm spitballing here. But I'm giving you a name that I think makes sense. I don't know if it's now. Maybe it's the beginning of next year. But I want to throw Marc Savard's name in the ring. Ryan McGonnell, is that who it is, up in Providence? Maybe he's a guy who comes in and they do some sort of youth movement. I don't know. Todd McClellan's been in the league for a while. I don't know if he's do a job. I'm spitballing names here, everybody. I'm going by some of the guys who interviewed previously. The other one I'd take a look at is that Jeff Blashill guy. He's with Tampa Bay. He's someone outside of the organization. He's 50 years old. Tampa Bay's had the success and the older players and contract. I don't know. I'm spitballing names here. Jay Leach, Chris Kelly, Mark Savard, Nate Lehman. How about him? College from Providence. I'm just giving you a few names. Maybe Chris Kelly as the interim coach could help. And see what he has. Steve's in Peabody. What was the night like, bro?
Hey, I didn't watch the game at Patty Kelly's, but I was with Kitty Kelly, and boy, can she purr.
For James Scaramuzino, I'm Joe Murray. Intern Joe.